So let's take a look at how you can use Oracle NoSQL database in Oracle Cloud. So first thing that we are going to do is, where is Oracle NoSQL database in cloud? So if you log into your Oracle Cloud, you will have to go to Oracle database, right? And here you'll notice that it has autonomous database section and other Exadata, etc. Now if you click on database, you'll find option for MySQL, then MySQL Heatwave on AWS, and Oracle NoSQL database. If you go there, it will be available for you. Now it will directly ask you to create a table. Now before we go to creating a table, we take a look at some of the example of this NoSQL data. So if we go to schema.org, which is the way you see the search engine result is through a particular schema. Now let's say you have a local business, right? Then there is one example for you in JSON format. So basically we create our schema in this key value pair, right? Similarly, if you are making use of NoSQL data, then you will be making use of JSON data like this, right? Within the starting and closing curly brackets, you have within double quotes key and value and so on, right? And once you use something like this, you will be able to add that in form of a document, and collectively it is a part of collection in NoSQL. That's for document oriented NoSQL data. There are also other options like graph, then maps, and there are some key value store, so even shorter than this, right? So what we will do is we will have one such NoSQL table, right? So we can take inspiration from option like this, right? So I'll take a look at one JSON data. So let's say we are holding local business. So we'll create a table, and here within table you can see we have option to choose table creation mode. Now there is form based entry mode and there is advanced DDL input. So we'll take a look at both by creating two different tables so you get the idea. There is also reserved capacity option where you have provision capacity or on demand capacity. So if you choose the capacity, let's say read 50, write 50, and space say 1 GB, right? Then you will have to name your table. Let's say I name this local business, right? It has primary column, right? So let's say I give it a name as ID, right? So within ID, and we select it as integer, call it a shard key, set as shard key, and there is also another option for setting primary key column, so you can add that for primary key as well. So this will be your ID that will be appearing in integer format. Now let's say you have set of columns that you want to add, right? So we will pick columns like say we will add things like store name, then we will add say store type, right? Then provider, right? So local business is one such, so we will add column name as provider. Then we will set its type as let's say string, right? We don't want to add default value. Then another column I would be adding, let's say city, right? So we will add city, which is again a string. Then I will add one more thing. Let's go with something different, like say we'll add another column here and we have provider city, and based on the timestamp you can see, let's say I want to see business created date, right? So it will be timestamp, right? So if you are maintaining a list of all the businesses created on the same day, you can create something like this. Or let's say verified on, right? So if you are verifying this business data, let's have the verification date data. So precision, let's say 0 to 9, choose one default value, let's say YYMMDD, so we will change that to DD MM and then YYYY, right? So as you can see, it is not letting me that, so I will not add the default value, right? So must be a timestamp, so we can pick this one, so we will go like this. So there is a default value, so it wants us to add default, so we can leave that and simply change to some other simple field. So provider city, and let's say third type being your active or inactive, so we will use active for boolean value, right? So we will add 1 on 0 as boolean value. Table time to live, days. You can also keep this table alive for days, right? Then it will be discarded with the data, right? So we can create this table now, right? So we will click on create table, right? So I have created this local business table. Status is creating, has read capacity of 50, write capacity 50, this storage 1, right? And when you are done with the table, you can click here and delete. So we'll go there eventually. So click on the table here. Now it will show you the general details. It will also show you the columns, integer, string, and then boolean. This will be your primary key. Then these three fields are in your hands. Now I want to check explore data. So if I execute this, there will be nothing, right? So here you can see child tables and metrics, then we have indexes, right? You can also add index. If we explore the data, there you have nothing, right? So let's go ahead and here create a child table, right? That is also one option that we get. Now all the options said and done, let's come back to option 2, add data. So we have like insert row, can also upload data, then view this table in DDL format. So let's go and insert row. So ID, let's start with 1, then provider is our local business provider, so we'll add something like electric shop, right? And we add city active, yes. So for yes it will be either 1 or 0, so right, so true or false, right? So it will not take, must be true or false. So currently it is not letting me choose any specific value, so I don't know whether to add 0 or, right? So it will take lowercase true or false, so it's kind of hard to see this. So let's insert the row, right? Row is successful. I can go to explore my data, let's execute, and as you can see one entry is being made. Now I will go and add another row, 2, then city active true, and then insert row, Right, now let's execute again, and we have another options. Notice that the any new data that you add will be on the top of the previously posted data. So let's insert another row. Let's go with third ID provider. Let's say food shop, then city, and then activity true or false. Then you have like 3 rows here over here, and let's go ahead and execute to see how it goes. Notice that now the sorting is based on alphabetical order. Also, you will notice that the status is now false for our active shop. Okay, so we managed to create our NoSQL table. We also added some data, right? So we learned few new things, what is accepted, what is not accepted, and we also checked where are some of the obstacles while creating this, like what type of data and how it want the data being accepted. All those limits we can test and explore. I didn't cover the child tables here, so you may want to do that. Also indexes, I didn't do index because we have very short data for now. And finally metrics, right? So monitoring goes right here. Okay, so we didn't cover this. There is also upload data option that I didn't cover. I'm pretty sure it will accept the JSON format which you can use for loading bulk data. So we will cover this later, but for now you get the idea how to upload, how to create your NoSQL table, how to add data there, how to make a query and view the new data along with what's inside the table.